welcome to Local Flavor. I'm Deborah Anderson, and I'm thrilled today because Will and Shannon have invited me over to grill pizza. And so today it sounded like we were going to have jalapeno popper pizza and margaritas, but it turns out it's actually jalapeno popper pizza and a second kind of pizza called margarita pizza, right?
Right.
That's right.
Who's in charge of each one?
Well, the jalapeno popper pizza was kind of my invention in a way, and Will kind of wanted to do a margarita pizza.
Which is a really classic flavor. I can't wait to see how you put it together. And the great thing that we're going to do today is make them on the grill, since it's summertime now and we don't want to heat up the kitchen. So I'm really anxious to see how the dough works out on a grill.
Yes, I would always start with the dough first because it takes the longest. Not prep time, but just letting it rise takes a while, and so I would start with the dough first.
So we're making our dough from scratch. This is awesome.
And
yes,
it's so easy.
It is. So you start with 2 cups of all-purpose flour, half a teaspoon of salt, and a half a teaspoon of sugar, and a tablespoon of olive oil. Mix those together. Important step in this is proofing the yeast. I have 1 package of active dry yeast that I'm going to mix with 3/4 cup of warm water. That's about 110 degrees Fahrenheit. And then
temperature is really important on that. It says lukewarm, and I don't trust my fingers. I have found out I'm going to need a scald guard when I'm older. And I think I say this a lot, but I use a thermometer because the yeast is a live organism and they'll die.
it is.
I know. I really, ever since I've learned this, I want everyone to know, so I repeat it sometimes.
That's good.
Speaking of live organism, yeast feeds on sugar, so we add just a pinch of sugar to the warm water and yeast and
So
mix
when
it
you
up.
said salt and sugar, were you really putting just the salt in here?
No, the
There's
salt and sugar were a half a teaspoon each in there. There's
there's
just
a
a
little
pinch of
additional
sugar in here.
sugar.
Yeah, a little science experiment, because the yeast feeds on the sugar, and when it does, it'll put off carbon dioxide, and when that mixture starts to bubble, you'll know that the yeast is proofed and ready to mix with your dry ingredients.
He proves it's alive.
That's right. And that's what helps get our dough airy so that it's not flat once you put it on the grill.
So I'm going to mix this in here, and then just fold these ingredients in with a spoon until it becomes kind of elastic and pliable.
And it'll about double in size after it's set for about an hour and a half.
It was really easy, and I was thinking, since it was a grill dough, it looks about the same texture as the dough that we make at home.
So
You have one already made?
Yeah, we made one earlier. So, as you can see, this has kind of formed up nicely.
This one doesn't look messy at all.
No. This one worked out really nice. So this is what we'll use. It just takes, a few minutes to get it together and some time to rise, and then this is what we'll use for the pizza.
And this is at room temperature, right? You didn't put it in the fridge. Okay.
Right.
Great.
You can, the really cool thing about this dough too is if you make a lot of it, you can freeze it in portions, so when you're ready to make pizza again, you have it all ready. Or if you want to pre-grill each side and freeze that, it actually freezes a little bit better, and it's a lot less to do once it's time to grill.
Oh, that is a great idea.
It's really nice. You can make 4 or 5 crusts, and then you're ready to go. So,
why don't you show us how we're going to make the sauce, too, while he works on that.
this is something that's really simple, too, which is important, I think, when you're making things from scratch. You start out with just an 8-ounce can of tomato sauce, and then as we've kind of played around with our recipe, I also added half a can, which is about 1.5 ounces of tomato paste. It just makes it a little more richer, like thickens it up a little bit, so I like the taste a little bit better. And then for the ingredients, you do half a teaspoon of minced garlic, and that just gives it some really good flavor. Half a teaspoon of dried oregano.
Now, did you buy your garlic already minced?
I did. I kind of like to do what's easiest, So, half a teaspoon of onion powder, half a teaspoon of basil, ground basil, and then this is optional, but we like things to have a little bit of spice to it, so I just do 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, and you just mix all of that in there, get it all mixed up nice.
Now, what would be the difference? What if somebody just wanted to use a can of spaghetti sauce?
You could do so. A lot of spaghetti sauces and pizza sauces are similar as far as their base ingredients go. They all obviously start with a tomato base and then have similar ingredients. But a lot of, if you did it like from a restaurant's point of view, a lot of spaghetti sauces will have chunks of vegetables and meat and stuff in there. Some people use them if you just buy a can interchangeably. You can buy a can of pizza sauce too, but again, the nice thing about this one is I think it has a lot more flavor, and you can freeze it, again, in portion sizes, so when you're ready to make your next pizza,
how many pizzas would you make with this one?
This will make 2 medium-sized pizzas, unless you're someone who likes a lot of sauce or not a lot of sauce. And then we just do salt and pepper to taste on here, so I just do a couple turns and get that going. And then we'll have to take this inside, but all you'll want to do for this before you actually put it on your pizza crust is put it on the stove, just on a low heat, just to warm it up. And that's all you have to do.
So you don't have to let it simmer for 4 hours, you're just getting it warm.
Exactly. That's the awesome thing about both of these recipes is they're easy, they're quick, and then you can use it over and over again. So.
And what I love about making the dough and this from scratch is that you can put any toppings you want on. We're going to make some awesome ones today, but you could decide anything. I know Doyle likes to put pesto on his pizza instead of sauce sometimes, so just different things.
That's good.
Sometimes we make a breakfast one where we put like Velveeta with milk and make a thin, like a cheese sauce instead of just spaghetti.
That would be good. We're playing around with some new ideas, like even a dessert pizza on the grill would be good.
Ooh,
So
that does sound good too.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think I'll go take this inside and get it warmed up, and we can move on to the next part after that.
Okay, let's take a break and let this rise for a little bit too.
Okay.
So Will and Shannon and I are back. We have gathered all the ingredients for the toppings. We've warmed the sauce and the dough has risen. And it turns out that the dough that you made, how many pizzas can we make with this dough?
We're going to make 2.
Okay. So with the recipe that you gave us, you can make 2 medium-sized pizzas.
Correct.
Okay. How do we start this?
So I usually just get a little bit of flour on my hands in case the dough is still sticky. And then just eyeball half of the risen dough and tear it apart. And then just get a good amount of flour on so it doesn't stick. And then slowly knead this into a rustic square or circle shape. And
So you're not too worried about getting a perfect circle?
no, definitely not. In fact, I kind of like the rustic look personally, but
it does make it a lot, especially when the crust has different levels of thickness and you have different bites that have different kinds of delightfulness.
Plus, with it being on a grill, you know, it looks better if it's not perfect. Looks a little more authentic.
so once you get kind of the shape that you want, you can press it thin. We like it thin because it gets a little bit more airy and it's a little bit lighter of a taste. But keep in mind, the thicker you want your crust, the longer it's going to take to cook on the grill. But
Well, let's not take you very long
Let's not.
because these look really good and it's hard for me not to just grab into this mozzarella.
so I kind of got the shape that I want, and I'm just going to roll it out just a little bit to get it a little bit thinner, but not much. And it's relatively thin, about 1/4 inch thick, and that's exactly what we're looking for right there. The more even it is across the area, the more even it'll cook, obviously. So, and then before we put it on, I just like to dust it with a little bit of cornmeal.
And what does
to
that
get-
do?
It just gives it a drier, airier, lighter texture. And this is totally optional, but I dust both sides with a little bit of cornmeal and just kind of...
Does it
hand
keep it
spread
from
it on.
sticking or no?
No, to keep it from sticking, we're going to make sure that, one, the grate is well lubricated with cooking spray,
Okay.
and we're also going to brush this dough with a little bit of olive oil. So,
Oh, good idea.
and that's what we're going to do now. So, we'll just take and put a little dab of olive oil right in the center and brush it on with the baster fairly evenly.
The cornmeal just gives it a really good kind of crunchy texture too. So just something a little different.
So he's going to oil both sides then.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Yep.
Now, since you're grilling these, are you going to roll them both out and then grill them both at the same time, or are we going to do this twice?
You can do it either way, whatever size your grill, you know, is. If you can fit 2 on there, I think we can definitely do 2 on ours.
We perforate it with a fork, and I just go around in a circle and poke holes around it just to let air get inside the crust and to help cook it more airy. Yeah. So you can also buy a perforator. This works just as well. So just evenly across the crust.
I do love it, those wood-fired pizza ovens, though, too, when you get that one little bubble.
This one will prevent that, but you do send a few.
So we'll set this aside and work on the other one.
Oh, you've got that. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, it's keeping its shape pretty well.
So a little flour on the hands, knead it a little bit, get your shape, and then roll it out. And it's really simple.
What you're going to do is you're going to put one of the sides on the grill, and it's going to take anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes. And the way you're going to know it's done is because it quickly and easily comes right off of the grill, and you're going to see some nice little kind of grill marks on the bottom of the
so
side
it's kind of like if you use stainless steel cookware, you know when it's time to turn your chicken because it will release it when it's ready.
Exactly.
Okay.
And the trick is you're going to grill one side, take it off the grill, and then you bring it back over here and you dress it on the grilled side. Because what we're going to do then is once we have all of our toppings on there, we're going to put the non-grilled side back on the grill to finish that side, and then it melts your toppings as well. So it's kind of a 2 birds with 1 stone on the last process. So any meat that you're going to put on it should be pre-cooked. So
because it doesn't take that long at all.
Right. Okay. We did our for the jalapeno popper pizza, which has jalapenos, bacon, and cream cheese and mozzarella cheese. We did the bacon this morning on the grill, so it still has that grilled taste, and we also did the jalapenos on there as well.
So you sliced the fresh jalapeno and then added it to the grill. How long did you have to leave it on there to soften them up?
We really left them on there for about 20 minutes, I think. And
now, was it to soften it, or is it to get the smoky flavor?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
Because these would, if you just put them on without putting them on the grill first, when you put them on your pizza, they may not get all the way soft.
So there's our crust.
Okay, we're not going to have them on this, though, in the grill. We're just using this to carry them?
Right, just for transport.
Let's see if we can get I want to see how you do this without...
Okay, so first thing, make sure your cooking surface is really clean. Always brush it, get whatever residue was left from the last time you grilled off, nice and smooth. And then another preventative measure for sticking is I hit it with a little bit of grilling spray. Or if you don't have any pan, you can take a paper towel, fold it up, and dip it in canola oil or any high smoking point oil, and rub it on your grate. Not olive oil. No, it has a low smoking point. So
that's a good point.
So
I wonder if that's the difference with the grilling spray, since it's different than
it is.
Other
It's
pans.
canola oil. Yep. So, and then you just set these on.
Please be careful. It's very hot. And if I remember right, you said that we're gonna need to leave these on for about 3 to 5 minutes, right?
Correct.
Well, let's take a quick break and clean up our mess and come back in 3 to 5 to put the toppings on.
Okay.
It sounds like the grill is finished grilling one side of the pizza, so we want to hurry and take it off. So, let's do it. Did you want me to use this, or you're using that one?
You can.
Do one on each?
Just wanted to help.
So a pretty good indicator that they're ready to be flipped or dressed is that they hold their form whenever you move them. They don't have elasticity or bend or anything. So these actually look pretty good. And like she said at the beginning, you can check underneath and they have some fairly good grill marks. So
it looks
we're
like
in
a
good
piece
shape
of
here.
grilled chicken.
So
you better take them both or no.
yeah. So there's one. Another.
That grill is just working so hard. Awesome. Oh, they smell great already. Wonder if they'll have a little bit of smoky flavor.
They do.
They will.
And you actually want to then flip it over and put your toppings on the grilled side, because then when we put this back on, we'll grill this other side that hasn't been grilled yet.
Look at those grill marks. Doesn't that look just like a piece of grilled chicken?
I think it looks like good grilled pizza dough.
Now, whose takes longer to bake? Margarita pizza or jalapeno popper pizza?
They're both really easy, so.
Okay, ladies first then.
Okay, so this is a little bit of our homemade sauce that we made earlier. And I don't like a lot of sauce on mine, but I do a pretty just thin layer all over the pizza.
Oh, look at all those spices in there. That looks beautiful.
Gives it just a little bit of kick with everything else that we're going to put on it here in a little bit. So it's you want to get pretty close to the edges. That way you don't actually burn the edges once you put it back on there. So they have a little bit of something covering it. Put just a little bit more on. And I'd say that's pretty good. If you like more sauce, you can add more to it. It's kind of a matter of taste. So then I just have shredded mozzarella cheese.
I like it when the cheese goes first.
And I do a little bit, I do a couple layers. Just put some cheese on there first.
And you didn't do anything particular. This is just store-bought shredded cheese?
Right. You
Okay.
can buy it and shred it yourself. Some things we like to make sure we do ourselves, and other things it's all about what's kind of easier as well. So kind of do a good first layer of the mozzarella. And then if you want to help me, Deb, we're going to just kind of randomly put on our jalapenos and bacon, just kind of sprinkle them throughout the pizza.
Are you going to put all of them on?
Well, I'm going to see how many this will hold, but
Okay.
I'm not a huge spicy fan. So I might just kind of go a
I
little
want my
easy.
bacon to go on top of yours, so I'm going
Okay.
to go after you.
Okay, I'll start on this side then. If you like a lot of jalapenos, you can do that. We de-seeded ours this morning because if you leave the seeds in them, it makes them even hotter. I'd say we're good on jalapenos. That looks pretty good.
So how many of those did you cut up?
I think this was 3 kind of medium-sized jalapenos.
Uh-huh.
And I'd say, you know, as much bacon that'll fit on there, the better. People like bacon, and it gives stuff good flavor.
Okay, I won't argue with that.
And then the other thing we did, as you're putting that on, we just kind of cubed up some cream cheese. As you know, a traditional jalapeno popper is jalapeno stuffed with cream cheese and wrapped in bacon.
Uh-huh.
And then this, you just kind of drop your little cubes kind of randomly throughout. And this is what's so good about this is when you bite into one of these in your pizza, it just is so yummy.
I bet so.
Adds a new texture, and everyone loves cream cheese.
I know. It's like every recipe that you find out you love and you ask for it, it has cream cheese in it.
Exactly. It's surprising what you can use it on. And this will just kind of melt in little blobs on the grill.
I almost have a solid sheet of bacon on here, everyone.
And then we'll just top with a little bit more cheese. And it's just that easy.
Now, are you going to put yours on the grill, or shall we wait and put them on together?
We can
We'll
do
put
it
them on at the
together.
same time.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the margarita pizza, I'm not going to put any sauce on it.
No sauce. Okay.
No sauce. So the first thing I'm going to do is just dress it with a little garlic flavor. And this is just a clove of garlic. And I'm just going to cut the end off of it and expose the meat. And then just take and kind of vigorously rub it over the cooked side of our crust to give it a nice Italian
You know, Shannon,
garlic flavor.
Will he's earning a lot more points because you had bought that chopped garlic and he was using a clove of fresh garlic.
Let's see whose pizza is better at the end.
Okay.
So just try and cover everything with a little bit of the garlic, and then you can just dispose of that.
It smells really good.
This is fresh mozzarella, store-bought, but fresh, needless to say, very soft, very good.
I want to
And
learn how
so-
to make my own.
I don't think
Someday.
it's too hard.
No.
This is going to spread out, obviously, as you can see, it's thick sliced, so I'm just going to...
One of my
kinda
favorite
evenly cover
appetizers
this.
is caprese salad, and this looks just like a caprese salad. And it's not smelled like margarita. It's not like a Mexican margarita drink. It's margarita with
an
cheese.
H.
Yeah.
Okay? And then these are just fresh sliced Roma tomatoes, thinly. And again, I stick with the rustic look. Just make sure that they're evenly spread out.
I think my pizza looks really good.
It smells awesome.
Again, however many you want. If you're a tomato fan, lots. Not so much like me. So, and
That goes
then
on at the-
will go on at the end. This is basil, and we don't want to cook it down and wilt it, so it's just going to go on at the very end. And
Okay.
then I'm going to finish this off with just a little bit of salt and pepper.
Yep.
So then what you want to do is probably about 3 to 5 minutes again on this side, or until all of your cheese has melted.
So we'll check on it. This one looks so simple, but I think you'll all be surprised when you taste it. where I will be.
Do we need to put some
We
olive
can
oil on
drizzle
it?
just a little olive oil to taste as well on top of it. It's, again, preference. Okay, I think they're ready to go back on.
Okay, it's time. It's time. Let's take them off.
So, yeah, the cheese is starting to melt. They
Oh, look
look
how
like they're
spread out
ready to
it
come
is.
off. So,
And you can see a little bit of brown on the edge of the crust there. So.
yep, they're definitely ready to come off. So.
Now look, someone is really going to want this piece that has tiny pieces of bacon on top of the cream cheese. This will be the, here, that will be the premier piece right there. I thought it would be this one, but it's going to be this one.
So, okay, these are ready to cut up and eat. I'm going to take first and dress this one up with a little bit of the sliced basil. All I did with this is bought it fresh in the store and then peeled the stems off and rough chopped it.
Basil is one of my favorite things in the world. I know we've got bacon versus basil. I don't know. It's going to be hard.
You have to decide because one of us has to win. No?
Did you know it was a competition?
Yeah.
So, which one would you like to try first?
I think this one first.
Okay.
Because you know how the bacon will, it's just going to take over.
Yeah.
And this this reminds me of one of my favorite appetizers, so it should be the first one. And you're going to try it too, right?
Yes. Okay, there you
Is
go.
this one mine?
Yep.
I'm going to put it on a little plate. And now, we're grilling outside, so I'm guessing we're just going to use our hands. Is that right?
It is.
Shannon, do you want to taste it?
Of course.
So you can give a fair assessment?
Good thing we had our Nex-Tech pizza cutter.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't wait.
How was it? Or how is it?
Let me get, I wanted to taste the crust first because it's so nice and crisp. Not a cracker crust like you get at a wood fire pizza, though.
It's just nice and light. And like you said, these are great appetizers, too. You don't have to make their meal out of it. Or you can.
This is really good.
Mm-hmm.
This is nice mozzarella. I think possibly also adding that little bit of cracked salt at the end improved it quite a bit. Well, it's just like, it's a margarita pizza, but it's like a caprese salad on delicious crust. That crust is amazing. I know I should only get it in one bite, but I really want one with a tomato in it too.
I'll go ahead and cut this one up while you guys are finishing.
I love that.
It is just
Very,
a
very
good summer pizza, you know.
Very, very fresh and light. I don't know if it actually is light, but it's
Could be worse. Like it could be this one.
bacon.
This looks really good, Shannon. If I can cut it. There we go. Okay.
Right.
Where was that premiere piece? Oh yeah, this one. Look at this one, because it has little tiny crumbs.
Oh yeah, it does look good.
It looks sprinkly.
This little piece over here.
I lose.
You think? If you want flavor, this is why I went to taste it second, because this is delicious. They're both delicious, but this is packed with a ton of flavor.
We, I think, can agree. Anything with bacon or cream cheese is just amazing. And when you put it together, no, they're both really good.
And the jalapenos, it smokes up. They're not hot at all, so they're delicious. Love it. Wish you were here. This is amazing. You're definitely going to want to try to do this at home. Thank you, Shannon. Thank you, Will. Thank you very much. Go away. I want my pizza. We'll see you next time on Local Flavor.